Here we go again with another little task. Going to start bending the pipes for the clutch, and I've got the kit. I got it from S&G Barrett. Pipe kit was CPK 005 and it says clutch pipe kit, and it comes with the flexible hose, which is CH01. Nice ends, I must admit. Disappointed it doesn't come with the nuts and the washers, so I've now got to go and get those. I don't know what thread this is, whether it's a brake pipe thread or American Fine or BSF or who knows. I'm hoping in my local hardware store I can pick up the appropriate nuts and washers. I'm pretty sure I will be able to, but we will see. Excuse me. So here is the brake piping tool, general tube bender. Bends 3/16 quarter, 5/16 and 3/8 copper brass, steel and aluminum. Thin wall tubing, single action, 180 bends, durable, rust corrosion, rounded extra long handles. Okay. And on the back it gives instructions. Put tube in groove and bend, basically. Eek, said that word. Pull shoe handle, yeah, right. And on it, the tool, it's got a 0, an R and an L, and it doesn't tell you what they mean. Now, I am new to this. I've made straight brake pipes before, but I've never made any bend ones with like I'm just about to. I mean, it shows a picture of R here. That doesn't really mean shit to me. 3/16 quarter, 5/16 3/8. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean shit. And also, don't buy this tool. It's hang on. You see that? So when you're trying to bend it, of course, it wants to push out. So then you have to pull it in. They put a little springy washer on there. So my plan now is to try and hammer this flatterer. This appears to be okay. They seem to have got that. No, they didn't. They didn't get that tight either. So now I'm going to have to do a bit of banging to burr these over to make them tighter. Otherwise, when you go to bend the pipe, it does that kind of action, which is no fucking good to man or beast. So my suggestion is, don't buy this tool. Let's see if I can fix it. Okay, I've managed to tighten it up a bit, so let's see how it goes now, shall we? This is just a test piece of pipe I have. Bend it round. It says that's 90 degrees. That is not, I can see that. You need to go further than that to get 90. And even that's not 90. So I guess you just have to play with it a bit, because those markings are crap. That's closer to 90. Alright, yeah, I've tightened that up now. Seems a lot better. I just had to flatten it on this side. But I would still say, don't buy this, buy a decent tool. I'm going to carry on with it and see how it goes. We'll put no money on it being any good, but there you go. Right, let's start bending. Now, as I'm new to this bending lark, unlike Dave, joke. One method I've read about is you get a piece of wire. So this is some actually locking wire. I would have preferred something a little thicker, because this is just a little too flexible, but got to use what you got. Anyway, so I bent it roughly in shape, and then rather than use the piece that is supplied with the kit, which is this piece here, I have a spare piece of pipe that I did some practice bending on, and I got it pretty close and found out some faults. Like I had this bend, it was too far in that direction, because I've got to cut off here, that's where the pipe's got to end. But as you can see, my new pipe is 9 inches too long, so I've got to chop it off and remake the end. Now the end is a double flare, and I have a new flaring kit. Again, something I haven't used, so I'm going to practice on this one to make sure I can do a double flare. I won't need to cut this off, but I will need to mark that. Also, over here, I now have the flexible pipe in that goes between the engine, which is where it will go down to the gearbox onto the slave cylinder, and then back here to the firewall. It looks a bit of an angle actually. I might try and straighten that up, but I think what I'm probably going to do is get the solid line on there first and then start messing with it. As you can see, I had to take the battery out because it was in the bloody way. Let me see, what else can I tell you? This is the clutch slave cylinder, master cylinder here. I don't know if this was an original fitment, but it was on the car when I got it. And rather than bringing the pipe up and doing a huge loop down, I'm going to use this and hope that it works. I can't see why it wouldn't. There is also one on the brake master cylinder. This cylinder goes this way around. That way, the air, when you pump it out of the slave cylinder, geez, my brain cell, Bob, it's your fault. Sorry, I'm using myself and my friend Bob. Then I should be able to get all the air out of the system. You know, if it was the other way around, it might get trapped. Might, don't know, but might. So that's my theory, the theory that is mine, as Python would always say. I could actually put some fluid in there now, but I'm not going to. And then, oh shit, here we go again. Once I get my axle back and I can get this thing up on the ramp, then I'll be able to continue with a lot more jobs. I'm struggling at the moment to do little jobs. And you can see that the carburetors are there. They are not there for any other reason than I wanted to make sure that this line was not going to interfere with the carburetors and the air filter, which will obviously go on here. Wow. We're getting there. We are getting there. Damn. Okay, and in case you want to know, the nuts and washers I got from my local Ace Hardware for the flexible hose, they're a 5/8/24, sorry, a 3/8/24, and the actual wrench size is a 5/8. Just in case that's something you needed to know, as everybody does. Okay, what else have we done? Oh, nothing. Well, I took that tape off of there. It was annoying me, and I'll just put a little piece of tape on here now, just to remind me there are oil in the bores. Okay. Well, let's, well, I don't know if I'm going to move on to something else, or am I now going to say, hang on a second. As he says this, these heater cables, I got them through. Okay, now I hadn't finished them, have I? Oh, I've got to figure out which is which, because one goes on down there onto the flap, and the other one comes up here and goes onto the lever onto that there with the what do you want to call it, a barrel connector? I'm not sure if that's what you call it. I guess it's kind of like a barrel connector or a barrel pin. You make up a name of your own. All right, that's it for now. Whew. Just in case you were wondering, the kit is Vivor, and it is an HT 1600 and HT 1650 brake line flaring tool. This is the complete kit. I think I've shown this before. That's the main handle, there's the locking down bar. These are the two different dies that I showed you before. Sorry, these are the dies. These are the, I don't know what you want to call them, the pressy bit. This is the piece that goes into the vise. You can see it's got a huge piece there for gripping into the vise. And this dome on the top here is what these fit onto. You just literally push them on and then they lock. And when you've done with them, you just pull them off, don't you? You just pull them off. See, I can do it. I can. And then everything goes back in there and it's done. And I've now flared my piece of pipe rather nicely, I might add. I think so anyway, considering I did it. And there she is, nicely flared. Now it is possible, I believe, and I haven't done it yet, to do the opposites. Ooh. Oh no, that's a double flare as well. So I was lying to you there. I was going to say about the bell ends, but I'm sure that is possible with that kit. I just have never got into doing it. Okay. Why am I putting this back together? Because I don't want to get crap in there, that's why. While I'm feeding it into the car. And I better rescue my little test piece. And that's something I would recommend if I haven't said so already. Get some pipe. I've got a shitload there. Just for testing. Just practice. You know, I've made this piece up, practice. And okay, you know, I can pretty much straighten that out and use it somewhere else, I'm sure. Somewhere that perhaps isn't important, that doesn't show so much. Right, there you go. Now, I do have to cut this pipe, as I mentioned, because it's too long. But let me just show you how my magic brake tool works. And I gotta say, I've used various tools. This was the most expensive one, and I gotta say it's the best one. The other ones that I've used they don't do a very good job. They seem to put them on the ends at an angle, or they don't do it properly. Anyway, this one is quite a simple tool, really. So first of all, you've got your various cartridges, and there are ones for different size pipes. They give you a cutter, and they also give you a metric thingy and a non-metric thingy, which is proper measurements in fractions. So what I'm going to do is I need a double flare. So I'm using 3/16 at 45 degrees, and it's written on here. So you just rest it in there, put that in there, and then this rests up against here. It blocks up against it. You flip this over, put in the locking bar. Okay, now don't tighten it at this point. Now what you need to do is select Op 1, which is Operation 1. Push the pipe through. Oops, sorry, this is a little cack-handed. So you push the pipe through, but then you pull this lever, allowing the pipe to go back so that it's flush. Now with it flush, then tighten this up. Get it good and tight. You can't over tighten it, well, you break it. So that's Op 1. Then you that's Op 0. Then you select Op 1 on the size that you're going to use. In this case, it's a 3/16. And you push, and it'll go, and then it'll reach its stop point. So that's a single flare, but I want a double flare. Now I go to Op 2 3/16. Do the same thing and just push. Done. Loosen the locking bar, pull out the pin, that allows this off, and there you have a perfect double flare 45 degrees. Should you need 37 degrees, it also does that. They're obviously the two most common ones. So that's all I need to do for this pipe once I've cut it, because it's already got the double flare on it, which I'm going to lose because the route that I've taken is slightly different to the route they chose, I guess. So I've got to now cut this off and then flare it, remembering not to take this off, because if you take that off and then put the flare on, you're fucked. You see, I did a little practice first, and I did do a 37 degree, but that's not enough. This is the 45 degree, and as you can see, that's a much better angle, and that's really the angle that this one already is. It's a 45 degrees. There you go. All right, that's enough prattling for me, or from me. I am now going to end this video here, and I'll see you on the next one, guys, girls. You know it. Get out of the garage, go do some shit. Yeah, I love this kit.